I'm Melissa, and the book that I read is Go Ask Alice. And the author is Beatrice Sparks, and she's like an author that always does, like, her books say anonymous on them, because they're all supposed to be diaries of, like, troubled teens. And so she does that to help it feel more realistic, because they're based off of true stories. And this one is about a girl, and her dad's a college professor, and they ended up moving to a different town from their hometown so he could switch schools. And then she didn't feel like she was in place there, and then one time she was walking home from school and she met this girl Beth, and they were like best friends up until like the summer. And then she went and stayed with her grandparents back at her hometown, and then she like went to this party there with like her old friends, and then they were playing a game, and it was called Button Button, and it's a game where they got like cups of Coke, and then they would drop LSD into some of the Cokes, but she didn't know like that what the game was because she never heard of it before. And then she like when she first started to like feel the trip, she thought that they were trying to poison her. And then the next day, the girl that she went to the party with told her that she was on LSD, and then she realized that she like wanted to try it again. And then from there on, like she started doing like more and more drugs. And then when she returned home to her parents for like the school year, she met a girl named Chris, and they became best friends, and they tried like marijuana with their friend for the first time. And then also later on at Chris's coworker's party, they tried heroin for the first time. And then one day she got like tired of like living there with all her parents' rules and stuff. So her and Chris moved to Oregon. They ran away, and they like continued doing drugs, and they opened like a jewelry shop and everything, and they were doing really well, or I guess like they were still doing drugs and everything. And then Alice began to miss her family, so she went back for Christmas to visit them. And while her and Chris were there, she got caught doing drugs by the police, and then so she got put on probation, and so did Chris. And so she like stopped doing drugs, and she was clean for a while until her grandpa died. And then she had relapsed, and it got worse whenever her grandma died too, like a few months later. And then she met this guy named Joel, and they became really close, and he finally got her to stop doing the drugs and like clean up her life a little bit and go to college. And then like they got really close, and she like thought about marrying him. And then her parents one day, when she was friends with Joel, found out that they came home one day and she was dead. And then later on they found out that it was from a drug overdose. So so for the psychology in the book, it's basically about like the ways like people deal with things, and like how certain people like start out doing drugs and they continue doing it, and then like the triggers that they have to continue on doing the drugs, or like for them to relapse again. And so my favorite part of the book is the epilogue, which is where they found out that she died. It didn't happen in the actual book. And then the epilogue said, the subject of this book died 3 weeks after her decision not to keep another diary. Oh yeah, she stopped writing in the diary. And then her parents came home from a movie and found her dead. They called the police, and there was nothing anyone could do. Was it an accidental overdose, a premeditated overdose? No one knows. And in some ways, that question isn't important. What must be of concern is that she died, and she was only one of thousands of drug deaths that year. And like that was my favorite part, because like you didn't know that she died like in the actual story. She just stopped writing. And then the last one, okay, would you recommend it to a friend or enemy? I would think a friend, because like it was a good book.